A 6-year-old boy offered his piggy bank to a group of bikers if they could make his mother smile again, but what they discovered changed everything. Before we dive into the story, make sure to smash subscribe, because tomorrow we have an extra special story for you that will blow your mind. The Iron Wolves Motorcycle Club was having their weekly meeting at Thunder Road Bar when the front door creaked open. Every conversation stopped. Standing in the doorway was a small boy, maybe 6 years old, dragging a pink piggy bank behind him. His Superman t-shirt was dirty, and tears had left trails down his dusty cheeks. "I need to hire you," the boy announced to the room full of leather-clad bikers. Rex, the club president, was the first to recover from his shock. He set down his beer and walked over to the child. "What's your name, buddy?" "Aiden," the boy whispered, clutching his piggy bank tighter. "Aiden, where are your parents?" "My dad's in heaven, and my mom—" Aiden's voice broke. "My mom doesn't love me anymore." The room went silent again, but this time it was a different kind of quiet. Rex knelt down to Aiden's level. "Why do you think your mom doesn't love you?" "She doesn't smile. She doesn't play. She just sits in her room and cries." Aiden held up the piggy bank. "I have $17.43. Will that buy enough magic to make her love me again?" Razor, a massive biker covered in tattoos, had to turn away. His own eyes were getting misty. These were men who had faced down rival gangs and survived prison, but a heartbroken 6-year-old was breaking them apart. "Where do you live, Aiden?" Rex asked gently. "The yellow house on Elm Street. It's not far. I walked here by myself." Every biker in that room knew Elm Street. It was a good neighborhood, middle-class families, the kind of place where kids should be safe and happy. The fact that this boy had walked alone to a biker bar meant something was seriously wrong. Tank stood up. "Let's go check on his mom right now." "Wait," Rex commanded. He studied the little boy carefully. "Aiden, when did your dad go to heaven?" 3 months ago. He was sick for a long time." The pieces were falling into place. A grieving widow, a child who didn't understand depression, and a 6-year-old so desperate he was trying to hire bikers to perform magic. "Does your mom know you're here?" Rex asked. Aiden shook his head. "She's sleeping again. She sleeps a lot now." Rex made a decision that would change multiple lives. "Aiden, we're going to help you, but not with magic. We're going to do something better." He stood up and addressed his club. "Brothers and sisters, we've got a mission. Not the kind we usually do. This one's about healing, not hurting." Aiden's eyes went wide. "You'll really help?" "Keep your money, little man," Rex said. "This one's on us." What happened next was carefully planned. Rex sent 2 members to check on Aiden's house while he kept the boy safe at the bar. They gave him chocolate milk and let him sit on different motorcycles while they waited. 20 minutes later, Rex's phone rang. His expression darkened as he listened. He hung up and gathered his inner circle. "The house is a disaster," he reported quietly. "Dishes piled up, mail unopened, bills past due. The mom's name is Emma. She's in bed, barely responsive. Classic severe depression." "We calling social services?" Tiny asked. "No," Rex said firmly. "That'll just traumatize the kid more. We handle this our way." The Iron Wolves had a reputation for violence, but what most people didn't know was that half their members were veterans who understood PTSD and depression intimately. They had their own support network, and they were about to extend it to a grieving family. "Call Maria," Rex ordered. Maria wasn't just Rex's wife. She was a psychiatric nurse who specialized in grief counseling. "Tell her we need her and call the others." By others, he meant the biker wives, girlfriends, and female members who were often the real strength behind the club. Within an hour, 15 motorcycles were parked outside the yellow house on Elm Street. Aiden rode on Rex's bike wearing a helmet that was too big for him, but made him feel like a superhero. When they arrived, he was confused by all the people going into his house. "What are they doing?" Aiden asked. "They're helping your mom feel better," Rex explained. "Sometimes when people are really sad, they need friends to help them." Maria had gone straight to Emma's room. The woman was exactly as described, lying in bed, staring at nothing, lost in a grief so deep she couldn't see her son drowning alongside her. It took gentle coaxing, but Maria got Emma to sit up and drink some water. Meanwhile, the bikers had transformed into an unlikely cleaning crew. Tough men who usually broke things were washing dishes, doing laundry, and organizing toys. The women stocked the refrigerator with groceries and cooked enough meals to last a week. But the real breakthrough came when Maria brought Emma to the living room and she saw Aiden sitting between two massive bikers, showing them his dinosaur collection. For the first time in months, Emma really saw her son. She saw how thin he'd gotten, how desperate he was for attention, how he'd been suffering alone. "Aiden," she whispered. The boy looked up, hope flickering in his eyes. "Mommy?" Emma opened her arms and Aiden flew into them. Both of them sobbed while a room full of bikers pretended they had something in their eyes. "I'm so sorry, baby," Emma cried. "I'm so sorry." "I thought you didn't love me anymore," Aiden said through his tears. "No, baby, no. I love you more than all the stars. I just got lost in the sad." Rex stepped forward. "Ma'am, we're here because your son tried to hire us with his piggy bank money. He wanted us to use magic to make you love him again." Emma looked at her son in shock. "You did what?" "I wanted you to be happy again," Aiden explained. "Like before Daddy got sick." That's when Emma noticed the army of bikers in her home, cleaning and cooking like it was the most natural thing in the world. "Who are all these people?" "We're the Iron Wolves," Rex said. "And from now on, you and Aiden are under our protection. You're not alone anymore." The story could have ended there, but life is rarely that simple. Emma needed more than one day of help. She needed ongoing support to climb out of her depression. The Iron Wolves didn't just make promises, they kept them. Every day, a different member would stop by, sometimes just to check in, sometimes to mow the lawn or fix something broken. The women formed a rotating schedule to help with Aiden when Emma had her therapy appointments. But the most beautiful part was watching Aiden bloom. He became the unofficial mascot of the Iron Wolves. At their charity rides, he would ride in a special sidecar, waving at crowds like a tiny king. The bikers taught him to be strong but gentle, tough but kind. What happens next will reveal how a piggy bank and a desperate boy's love changed an entire community. Stay tuned to see the incredible transformation. If you're enjoying the story, please like, share, and subscribe for more. 3 weeks after that first meeting, Emma had a setback. The anniversary of her husband's death hit her hard, and she couldn't get out of bed. Aiden, now knowing he had backup, didn't panic. He called Rex using the special phone number written on his bedroom wall. Within minutes, Maria arrived. She sat with Emma while Rex took Aiden to school on his motorcycle, making the boy the coolest kid in first grade. That afternoon, instead of going home to a dark house, Aiden went to the clubhouse where he did homework with Diesel helping him with math. The real test came when some parents at Aiden's school expressed concern about his association with a motorcycle club. They whispered about bad influences and questioned Emma's judgment as a mother. The Iron Wolves responded in typical fashion. They organized a charity ride for childhood grief support, raising $30,000 in one day. They showed up at Aiden's school play, filling the back rows and cheering louder than anyone when he delivered his 3 lines as tree number 2. One judgmental mother confronted Emma after the play. "Don't you think those people are dangerous for your son?" Before Emma could respond, Mrs. Patterson, the principal, interjected. "Those dangerous people have visited our library 3 times to read to the kindergartners. They've donated new playground equipment and started an after-school program for kids who've lost parents. If that's dangerous, we need more danger in this world." As months passed, Emma grew stronger. She started grief counseling and even joined a support group that met at the Iron Wolves' clubhouse. She learned she wasn't alone in her pain and that healing wasn't about forgetting her husband, but about learning to live, with the love and the loss together. The transformation in Aiden was remarkable. The scared little boy who had dragged his piggy bank into a biker bar became confident and secure. He knew he was loved, not just by his mother, but by an extended family of leather-clad guardians who would always have his back. One evening, 6 months after that first desperate day, Emma stood in her kitchen making dinner. Aiden was at the table drawing pictures of motorcycles, which had replaced dinosaurs as his favorite thing. The doorbell rang. It was Rex, but for once he wasn't alone. The entire club was there, filling her front yard. Emma's heart sank, thinking something was wrong. "Don't look so worried," Rex smiled. He pulled out a wooden plaque. The Iron Wolves have a tradition. When someone shows exceptional courage, we make them an honorary member. He turned to Aiden. This young man walked into our clubhouse armed with nothing but a piggy bank and more bravery than most adults have. He was willing to give everything he had to save someone he loved. That's the kind of courage we respect. Rex handed Aiden the plaque, which read, Aiden Matthews, Honorary Iron Wolf, Bravest Little Brother. But Rex wasn't done. He turned to Emma. And this is for you. He handed her a smaller plaque. Emma Matthews, Warrior Mother, Iron Wolves Family. You've both shown us something, Rex continued. That strength isn't about being tough. It's about being vulnerable enough to ask for help and brave enough to accept it. Emma was crying again, but these were different tears. Tears of gratitude, of belonging, of knowing that she and Aiden would never be alone again. The piggy bank still sits on a shelf in the Iron Wolves clubhouse, right next to pictures of members who've passed on. $17.43 that bought something priceless. A reminder that love isn't magic you can purchase. Love is action. It's showing up. It's tough bikers gentle enough to help a grieving mother and wise enough to know that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness create the biggest changes. Aiden is 10 now. He still rides with the Iron Wolves in their charity events. His piggy bank money was never spent because Rex framed it with a plaque that reads, The best investment ever made. One boy's love for his mother. Emma returned to work as a teacher, bringing her experience with grief to help other children who've lost parents. She often speaks at the support groups, telling the story of how her 6-year-old son saved her life by refusing to give up on her. The Iron Wolves continue their unlikely mission of healing. They've helped dozens of families since Aiden showed them that sometimes the toughest thing you can do is be tender. Their clubhouse walls are covered with pictures of children they've helped, families they've supported, and lives they've changed. But if you ask Rex about their greatest accomplishment, he'll point to that framed piggy bank and tell you about the day a little boy taught a room full of bikers that love isn't something you can buy. It's something you prove, one act of kindness at a time. Because real strength isn't measured in how hard you can hit. It's measured in how gently you can hold a broken heart until it's ready to beat again. And sometimes, the smallest among us carry the biggest lessons. The yellow house on Elm Street is filled with laughter now. Emma smiles every day, and Aiden knows without a doubt that he is loved. Not because of magic, but because a group of unlikely heroes answered a desperate boy's call and showed him that family comes in all forms, sometimes wearing leather and riding Harleys. That's the power of love in action, the strength of community, and the magic that happens when people decide to show up for each other. No piggy bank required. Thank you for watching this incredible story. If it touched your heart, please subscribe and click on one of the 2 amazing stories on your screen. Tomorrow's story will absolutely blow your mind.